Alright, just want to make this video because you see many people over the years, even the government uses this as well, and also the churches use it as well. They don't understand the context of Romans, basically Romans, the chapter. They do not understand any of the context, and they start saying it's talking about obeying the government. It is not talking about the government, and we're going to prove that. We're going to prove that it's not talking about the Roman government. Because again, Christians themselves use this as well, because some are not educated on the subject. It is not talking about obeying the government, these governments in the world. Because if we go through that logic, we'll show you everything that basically would show you that they do everything against God. So we know what the scripture says, Romans, where it says, let every being be subject unto the higher powers. We'll just get it. We're gonna have to go to Google. Go to Google. Why? Romans 13. Because most people just they honestly don't understand the context, because if we're supposed to obey the government, right, and everything that they say, then I'll just bring up one thing. Alright, so I don't know what ended, I didn't even press anything, but also, as I was saying, they use this scripture, man, and don't understand the context of it. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the audience of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is a minister of God to thee for good. Now, we'll continue reading in a few minutes. If this is talking about the government, then you are basically saying that the President of the United States and all these devil worshippers, these Satanists, these elites, you're saying that they're ministers of God, which is blasphemous. It is not talking about the government. And if you knew anything, this was written on What's Up, welcome to the stream. We're talking about the subject, are we supposed to obey the government? And in my opinion, no. But if you understand when this was written around the time of the Israelite rulers. Now, if you know anything about the Mosaic and stuff like that, this is what it was referring to. It was referring to the Israelite customs and the Israelite government. It was not referring to the governments of today, because back then the government wasn't corrupt. It is not talking about the Roman government, and it is not talking about the Roman Empire either. See, our people of today, even Christians, say that we have to obey the government and nonsense like that. It's just garbage. Well, it's not really about obeying the government. We'll show you this. Because everything that the United States, the government, does, contradicts the scripture. Now we'll bring this up for one instance. We'll show you. So if anyone says we're supposed to obey the government, look up the word submission. What does it mean? Recognizing authority's position rather than blind, unconditional obedience, especially if human laws directly conflict with God's commands. So, the United States government, the UK government, whatever country you live in, and whatever country anybody else lives in, if your government tells you, say they make a law tomorrow, they say, hey, you're not allowed to read the Bible ever again. We're banning the Bible worldwide. Therefore, if we have to obey the government to the full state, that means that we can't read the Bible ever again, and we have to obey everything that they say, even if it's corrupt. So it's stupid. It's not talking about the government. It is talking about the Mosaic, basically the Israelite rulership. They were God's rulers. The priest, the high priest, the Levites, stuff like that. That's who it was referring to. It was not referring to our government now, because our government is corrupt. Every government is corrupt. They're all devil worshippers. So it clearly says as well, the word in the Greek, submission, not willingly obedience. I mean, it don't matter if you obey the government or not. We've seen this. If you even do what the police do, they've done it to many people. The police are racist. They'll pull some guy over, and just because of the color of the skin, they'll most likely plant evidence or something like that. And even though that those people obey the government and do whatever the police officer says, the police officer can just arrest you. So even if you obey this corrupt devil government, they'll still lock you up. So there's no justice. They're wicked. Because it's not talking about the government. We'll go back. So this is the United States government, man. So people say we're supposed to obey the government, right? What about this? What does it say in the scripture about this? We know exactly what it says. So we're supposed to support and obey everything that the government says, yet they're doing things like this. They're doing things that completely are against God's laws and God's government. So that's what it says in the scripture. If it opposes God's will, we ain't to obey the government. We're not to obey them. We are not to obey them. Because every single thing that the United States government teaches and the rest of the governments on the earth, they're all corrupt. Also, again, who's the one that's going to be enforcing the New World Order and the mark of the beast? So if we're supposed to obey the government again, then when they say, hey, you're taking the mark of the beast, by these people's logic, we're supposed to take the mark of the beast. Because it says, these people say, it says in the scripture, we're supposed to obey the government to the full extent. We're not supposed to resist them. So by that logic, when they tell you to take the mark of the beast, you're going to do it. You have to. You can't pick and choose and say, oh, well, that contradicts with God's laws. You say that it says obey the government. Obeying means to the full extent. It clearly says in the scripture, don't resist. So the whole stupid nonsense logic falls apart. It is not talking about the corrupt governments of this world. This government is to say that these governments on this earth or a form of God's rulership is absolutely satanic. And it's blasphemous. They're doing things like this. Again, doing things like this in the United States. Devil worship. We're going to ban the Bible in Canada. We're going to ban the Bible in certain places of the world. We'll arrest you for preaching the gospel in the streets because it's classed as hate speech. So you see, every single thing in the form of the governments opposes God. So you're telling me that we're supposed to obey a government that is anti-Christ, that hates God, that breaks every commandment in the Bible, that opposes his laws and contradicts every law in the Bible. Thou shalt not kill. What does America do? They invade countries, slaughter people. That's just a fact. They love money. It says on the back of the United States dollar, in God we trust. We know what God that is. It's not talking about the government. Anyone telling you that Romans 13 is talking about the government, they have no clue what they're talking about. They don't understand the scriptures. It is not talking about the government. It is talking about God and his government, which is the Israelite government, the rulers, the priests, the Levites. That was a righteous. What is Jesus going to bring when he comes on the earth? A government. It's not going to be like this government. It's going to be the Mosaic government. Because again, Jesus Christ was an Israelite. So again, if we're supposed to obey the governments, the satanic, corrupt, devil-worshipping governments, then again, when they tell you, hey, you're not allowed to preach the gospel, we're banning it, then you're supposed to obey what they say, which contradicts the scripture. There's nothing righteous about the government. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The government are devils, the devil worshippers, and the oppressed people. Also, again, they contradict what it says in the scriptures, where it clearly states in the scriptures that you're supposed to help the poor out. What does the government do? They don't care about the poor. They oppress people. Why do you think Jesus Christ in the times of the Roman Empire, he flipped the tables? Because they were overcharging people like they do now. They tax people 25%. Look up the Egyptians. The Egyptians were... And I need to get something a minute. It's getting long. Let's get this a minute. I need to charge the phone. So just give me a minute. There we go. So as I said, the government is evil. There's no denying it. You cannot say to me that the kings, the president of the United States, that the government of the United States or whatever country you live in, which is laughable. Let's just give ones for an instance. Mexico, right? Their government's corrupt. It's ruled. Their government does nothing about the cartel. The Mexican people are ruled basically over by a bunch of corrupt criminals called the cartel. That's a fact. So go tell them. Go tell the Mexicans to obey people that are ruling over them. And we all know what they do. The government again, protects them. Just like the United States government. It's not talking about the worldly governments. And it's just facts. Because this is what this is what the government does. It bans the Bible. It brings in Satanism. And who is the one doing these things? It's called the government. So they're making laws, right, to ban the Bible in schools, ban the prayer in schools and the talk of Christ. Yet these are rulers and these are righteous men set up by God. Get real. They're not men of God. They're not servants of God. They're servants of Satan. They don't serve God. It's not, this is again, and Christians need to understand it as well. Stop saying that it's talking about obeying these corrupt governments, because it isn't. It wasn't written in the 2000s. This was written around the times when the Mosaic government was in existence. So it isn't referring to the corrupt government of today. And it's just facts. Because the basic things that I just told you. If they say to you tomorrow, hey, you're taking the mark of the beast, and you then say, no, I'm not, well, you just contradicted the scripture. Because the scripture does not say in Romans 13, hey, if it goes against God's commandments and God's laws, it clearly teaches you by your logic that if you're supposed to obey the government to the fullest. You adding to the scripture and saying, oh, well, it's talking about obeying them to a certain extent. No, it doesn't say that in the scriptures. It says obey them, and anyone that resisteth will be punished. So if I resist a bunch of Satanists, and I resist being forced to take the mark of the beast, I'm going to be punished for that. Make it make damn sense. I'm going to be punished by God for not taking the mark of the beast. God tells me not to take it. It's demonic what you people are teaching. You don't understand the scriptures. You are twisting scripture to get people to obey the corrupt government. The same people did the same thing during slavery. They put certain scriptures out of the Bible that said, slaves obey their master, and yet ignored the verses where it said, basically, free slaves. You're doing the same thing. Anyone saying this, we're not saying this to someone directly, we're saying it to the people that believe this. You are telling me that I have to submit to a bunch of devil worshippers. Laughable. You just don't understand the scriptures. Again, this is your government's gang of very evil robbers. Basically, they rob people. Your government is a thief. How are you going to say that this government on the earth and the government in the United Kingdom is righteous and set up by God, yet they tax you 25%, so you're always, and they make you work a 9-to-5 job, barely pay you anything, so you're constantly working the same job over and over and over again, and you never have any money for yourself. Tell me that's not slavery. It is. It's all it is. It's the only one saying this is the patriots. Because, oh, God bless our American government. Just a joke, man. You don't understand the goal of the New World Order, which the United States government is going to enforce. One world government, one world leader, one world religion, one world currency. Again, but we're supposed to believe, right, that the United States government is under God. Don't make me laugh. Garbage, honestly. Again, and this is who they worship. All the degrees of the Freemasons. We have the Knights Templars, all stuff like that. This is who's in power. It's not a conspiracy. This is from the Scottish. They admit all the degrees, and yet people say it's a conspiracy. They admit all the degrees and who they worship. And this is who rules over us, the elites. So again, we're supposed to obey the elites, right? We're supposed to obey the elites with the stuff with the Epstein files and all that that's leaked. Yeah, I'm sure we're supposed to obey a bunch of psychopaths. These people don't understand anything in the scriptures. Again, same with the United Kingdom. The government is corrupt. The police are corrupt. It's not talking about the government, because no matter what you do, you can obey the government for the rest of your life. And the police will still find a way, and the government will still find a way to ruin your life. Again, this is the supposed Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. What is it? It's an all-seeing eye. But again, these are servants, these are rulers from the Most High God. That's what they want you to think. Because then you obey them. That's what they want. You obey them. You're a puppet. Of course why you've got all these false teachers in the churches saying, obey the government, obey the government. Again, one-eye symbolism. Again, this is from the United Kingdom. This is in supposedly the Buckingham Palace, where there's a Freemason Masonic Lodge. It's right there. I'm not making this up. This is a real image. So Freemasonry was allowed in the Buckingham Palace, but these guys are the UK government is servants of God, right? No, they're not. Again, servants of the Most High, right? Servants of the Most High while throwing up the devil horns. I'm sure they are. Laughable, honestly. Anyone that, and again, the black and white, the Freemasonry duality, you couldn't get any more blatant and obvious. Time to wake up. It is not talking about the government. It really isn't. It says the rulers. It says the power. God is the only power. He's the one that is in control. Not these presidents. These are all puppets of the elites. So if the president is a puppet of the elite, why would we obey them? Again, servants of the Most High, right? These are servants of the Most High, the people that don't understand Romans 13. These are servants of the Most High. Yeah, they're throwing up these hand signs. Servants of the Most High, though. So by your logic, you're saying that God's Satan. Because that's right. The American patriots, right, will just make excuses up and say this symbol means something else. No, it doesn't. Again, in the White House. But we're a God-fearing nation. We're America. We're a God-fearing nation. We fear God. We're a Christian nation. My name's Donald Trump. We're going to be a Christian nation by May. In May. Garbage. We know what God the United States serves, and it is not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it is not the God of the Israelites. It's Satan. Because again, they Well, Freemasonry is heavily connected in America. They believe in the Grand Architect, the massive G, which means the Grand Architect of the universe, who they worship, they believe is Satan. That's what that all-seeing eye with the pyramid in it symbolizes. It symbolizes, because they believe that Satan, because the word Lucifer, it's the biggest mistranslation ever, because there's only one that brings light to this world, and it's Christ. The biggest nonsense that's ever been promoted by the Luciferians. They believed that Satan was the good guy in the Garden of Eden, that he was just trying to awaken man to knowledge, and that Satan came bringing light, hence why we get the form light bringer. Satan was never a light bringer. It's a title stolen from Jesus Christ. Satan masquerades himself as the angel of light. He isn't, though. That's where we get it from. So they believe that Satan is God. They show it in Hollywood. Why is there so much devil worship in Hollywood? Why is there so much devil worship all over the United States? It's not a nation under God. It's not a government under God that fears God. It's a satanic nation. And we're supposed to obey these corrupt devil worshippers. Again, we showed it before, but God-fearing nation though. Again, you just have to laugh at it. You really have to laugh at it. With the American dollar. In God we trust. Most laughable thing that I've ever read in my life. In God we trust, while having the Illuminati pyramid with the all-seeing eye, with the Noros, meaning New World Order, at the bottom. Make it make sense. So I guess by their logic, if the government worships Satan, right? Who do you think's behind the government? Who is the God of this world? If the God of this world is Satan, and that Satan has influence, we saw that since the times of Jesus Christ. If Satan controls the governments, he has influence over everything. Who do you think set the governments up? If he has influence and controls the governments, then it's very obvious these governments are not powers of God. It's blasphemous to say so, saying that these devil worshippers are set up by God, telling you that all the racist, corrupt police, these are servants of the Most High, yet they are racist, they're corrupt, and they'll plant evidence on people just so they can get an arrest. But they're servants of the Most High. Garbage, honestly. And the only people that are servants of the Most High is the angels and the Mosaic government. Again, couldn't get any more laughable, honestly. It really couldn't. I think this was done by accident. Again, that's who rules over the government. The devil. It's who rules over it. Again, God-fearing nation, right? This is a nation that this is a nation that people are supposed to obey, right? And governments like this were supposed to obey, right? To the full extent of it, that don't ever resist or anything like that. So if they ever tell you, hey, take the mark of the beast, you gotta do it. Contradicts the scripture then, doesn't it? This is why this is how you know they don't know what they're talking about. Because if you start adding to the scripture and then saying, well, if it contradicts God's laws, we're not supposed to obey it. That, it doesn't say that. It says anyone that resisteth will be punished. So that means you have to obey them no matter what. No matter what they say. So that means if they say to you, you're taking the mark of the beast, you've got to do it. So therefore that contradicts the scripture and causes confusion. If it causes confusion, right, it's of the devil. God is not the author of confusion. When people say, and you got Christians saying, we're supposed to obey the government, that causes confusion. Because when they start, you just look at the things that the governments do with the corrupt laws, the stupid laws that they make. You get arrested just for walking across the damn street. And these are laws of God, right? Someone just walks across the street, gets arrested for it. Laughable. They're not God's laws. They're man's laws. These are Roman laws. These are Roman laws. The same laws that had Christ crucified. Well, oh, we're supposed to obey the law. And again, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the whole damn calendar that people are in today was created by the Romans. Which is all paganism. It's all worship of false gods. But we're supposed to obey them, right? Say that to the Seventh-day Adventists, man. So we'll go by that logic as well. Because the Seventh-day Adventists believe that Sunday law is the mark of the beast. So by that logic, you're supposed to obey everything that the Roman Empire says. Even if it's Sunday law, you're supposed to obey them. You see how it contradicts the scripture? It contradicts the scripture. Because if we disobey anything from the government, that contradicts the scripture. Because it clearly says, anyone that resisteth the government, and it doesn't even say government anyway, these people are just adding that, it says power. These people have just added these words. Nowhere does it say in the King James government, nowhere. So this is how you know it's not even talking about the government. It's talking about a form of power. What is a form of power? God, the angels, the Israelites, the law that God's going to set up. These governments in every country are corrupt. All of them. They do not serve God. Well, let's just obey them to the full extent of the law. They throw you in prison for the rest of your life. All the stuff that they've done, like. Now, I'm not teaching people to go out and resist the government. No. I'm just teaching what it says in the scriptures. It's not talking about the government. Again, laughable, man. Laughable. It's honestly laughable. It really is. It's just funny. It's just funny to laugh at, man. This as well, this is the United States. Basically, some guy destroyed this and got arrested for it. So that just proves that your own devil government protects Satanists. But oh, do this to a Christian church, right? Do this to a Christian church, do this to anything that's Christian, or we don't care. No one gets arrested for that. So it should show you right there that your own government is a devil-worshipping nation, that it protects Satanists. Tell me anyone that's got arrested for doing this to some form of Christianity. They haven't. They honestly haven't. We've seen people smash up crosses. They didn't get arrested for it. It's not classed as a hate crime. But all Satanists, they can do whatever they want. They can mock God, blaspheme God. Oh, but someone smashes up a statue of theirs, or you're going to get arrested for that. That's hate crime. It isn't. It's just laughable, and it shows that your government is a demonic government. And again, as well, it's funny. Everyone knows who Babylon is. Everyone knows who it is. It's not the Vatican Church. So if America is Babylon, right, you're telling me that we're supposed to obey the whore of Babylon when it says clearly in Revelation, be not partakers of her sins. Come out of her, my people. People say it's spiritually come out of her. If that's the case, then that means you ain't supposed to obey their corrupt government. So again, scripture contradicts your nonsense. It's just nonsense, man. It honestly is. But nobody can defend it. I ain't got anything blocked. There's no blocked words. That's YouTube. I ain't got no blocked words. So if certain comments don't come through, that's nothing to do with me. I've got no filter on. So blame YouTube. That isn't me. So if anyone sees that, if a message doesn't go through, maybe don't say certain words, because that's how YouTube works. YouTube is owned. Control opposition. I've said this. So if you're using certain words that are flagged on YouTube, stop using them. That's why certain comments don't probably go through. I've seen it. People make a comment and it doesn't show up. Stop using certain words. So yeah, if anyone comes in streams and stuff like that, and you're wondering why I'm not reading the message, it's probably because it ain't gone through. Learn how YouTube works. You can't say certain words. I've got nothing blocked. I can even show it. There's no words blocked. There's no censorship on this channel. So blame YouTube. Again, Satanic Planet brings ceremony and religious performance to Indiana State, and it's Satanism. Bro, I haven't got any filter on. Nothing's blocked. And if you knew anything, what channels are you watching? I guarantee you're not watching Truther channels, or you're watching massive channels that are monetized. This channel's blacklisted. It's blacklisted, censored. I could show you. I ain't got anything blacklisted on this channel. Just stop using certain words, whatever you're using. If you're using certain words, it won't go through. Because that's what happens. When you start exposing the truth, they put you on a list. And they blacklist you from YouTube. They start censoring your channel. That's why this channel never goes anywhere. We don't care about that anyway, but I have 2 channels. Both have been blacklisted, censored through the roof. They did the same thing with my main channel. Certain comments wouldn't come through. They've done it with my me. I was in a channel once, commented on a Truther videos, a Truther channel, and my comment didn't go through. It didn't show up. And then I found out they didn't block me or anything. It was just the way YouTube is. That's what it is. It's not me doing it. Well, yeah, it is not talking about the government. Also, as well, there's many things with the government. Say like I brought up with the instance with the racist police. You'll obey the government, right? You'll obey the police force, and they'll just pull you over. You cannot do anything, and they'll shoot you. Or they'll just look for any reason. These people are evil. Don't matter if you obey them as well. The police and the government are evil. You can fully obey them, and they'll still do stuff. They'll still look for reasons to arrest you. No, they do it to everyone. So you should understand that I'm not the one doing it. They do it to a lot of people. They shadow ban people. It's what I said. Once you're on a list, it's this thing known as the thing that the government do. It's called targeted individuals. Once you get put on a certain list, because it's been known fact that the FBI spies on people and stuff like that. Once you get put on a certain list, they will censor your channel through the roof. That's what they do. And they'll send trolls, stuff like that. And they'll even go as far as to try to ruin your life. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do, man. But yeah, all this imagery that I said, there's no denying it. The crimes that America commits, what does it say in the Bible? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not have any gods before me. Yet we have how much idolatry is in America. Satanism, paganism, the Statue of Liberty is idolatry and paganism. So yeah, there's no denying it. And no, I don't watch them. I stopped watching them years ago. And yeah, I know they got banned. I know he got banned. And there's a reason. It was leaked who he got banned by. Trolls. It's believed a bunch of trolls reported his accounts to get him banned. And that's what I said. When you fully get put on a list, they'll take your channels down. That's what they do. They did it with me. And that's the thing that brought up with the government. They're the ones bringing in this new world order, so that we know what's going to happen. World War III, stuff like that. The global reset. Along comes the mark of the beast. They get rid of money. They bring in a new world order, which is a one world and a one world religion, where basically Christianity, Islam, and all that will just become one religion. This coexistence nonsense that they promote all around the world. That's been promoted for a long, long time, this coexistence, where all religions become one. This new age nonsense. It's all part of the agenda. They want all religions to become one. because which is part of this peace treaty nonsense. As it says, they'll bring the Antichrist and stuff like that, the man of sin, will bring sin and peace, and then we'll show his true colours and turn on everyone and break every single treaty. And yeah, I heard about that years ago. I don't know if the channel still exists. I used to watch them years upon years upon years upon years ago. Don't know if they still exist. But yeah, not really going to drag it on any longer. Just wanted to make this video. People can easily agree to disagree, but in my opinion, it's not talking about the corrupt governments. And if it was, then that would mean you literally have to obey when they say take the mark of the beast. But yeah, catch everyone.